Good evening, folks. Welcome to Alien Addict. You two did have no idea that I decided to go with a threesome for the start of the show.
No, but I was just prepared for it to be me without you saying it was going to be me again, because that seems to be a trend at the minute, doesn't it?
No, it does. It does. We've got VETTED on tonight, who has been absolutely killing it. Like over the past, I think he's been about for about a year. I could be wrong. VETTED, I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm sorry if you've been on for longer.
Turns out he's been slogging away at this since day one of YouTube.
And I know it's 2023.
All of the hard work he's done.
Yeah, but killing it, absolutely killing it. Daily UFO news, reaction stuff for the UFO community. I think it's absolutely amazing. And exactly, it's what we should have done. Why did we not think of this?
What?
Silence is golden.
What? Are we on?
We are on, Dave. We are on, but it's fine. It's fine. There's some t-shirts in the bottom section, people, and you can check us out on the podcasts. Without further ado, let's bring the man on himself, VETTED. Patrick, welcome to Alien Addict. How you doing, my fella?
Hey guys, so glad to be here, y'all. This is awesome. Y'all are already cracking me up. First of all, I have to say that intro song and music and everything. Holy shit! Can we curse? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse.
We're already shadow banned on YouTube, so it's fine.
Yeah. Bro, amazing. Whoever
cannot
did
do any more damage in the show.
That intro is sick, y'all. I gotta admit, that song is sick. I love the graphics and everything. Bam. Wow.
The key is you have to have tiny hands to do the editing. And Ollie's phenomenal. Right?
He's got a tiny keyboard, tiny monitor, tiny fingers, tiny timeline.
All on an on an Apple Watch.
Bro, if you'd have pulled out one of those, QWERTY keyboards, remember those little tiny ones? Like that would have been hilarious. Oh god, y'all are cracking me up, dude.
Yeah, I'd only found you on YouTube quite recently, but as Ollie says, you seem to have been blowing up lately. And how long have you been on YouTube for?
With VETTED, we launched last June, so we'll be coming up on our 1 year this June. But I had another podcast on YouTube before that, and just transitioned into VETTED. I mean, it's still on there. We just don't post any new episodes. It was called the Lone Star Plate, and I did that since the pandemic, since 2020. So roughly that amount of time I've been podcasting.
Was that involved in the same sort of
No, not even close. No, it was called Lone Star Plate. I interviewed Texas celebrities. They had a book coming out, a movie, a new album, bands, athletes, Olympic athletes, politicians, you name it, just all kinds of guests, but nothing like VETTED. And VETTED, really, I don't have many guests, to be honest with you. We kind of just sporadically get them in, and that was on purpose, to not have to access and be like, okay, I can't get good content out unless I'm getting the interviews I need and the big name people. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do daily videos. I'm going to provide. Let me find a gap here that I think exists in the UFO community and fill that gap, provide something. So I provide a town square for the UFO community to meet every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, USA. Boom, we can meet there and talk UFOs, and I throw down a video, right? And if I can, I mix in an interview here or there.
Have you always been interested in UFOs, or is it UFOs or just sort of general conspiracies, or what?
That's a great question, actually. I'm not super into just conspiracies, but I'm intrigued by mystery. So I've definitely been into sci-fi UFOs, probably my whole life. I mean, if I'm being honest, dude, I was a huge X-Files fan back in the day when it originally aired, but on a different level, not I'm reading books and I'm going to conventions and I'm, trying to capture UFOs on a camera, nothing like that. It was just topical, sort of regular interest that maybe a lot of people have. But then that 2017 New York Times article comes out. Like a lot of people, it's like, whoa, okay, those videos come out, right? The Tic Tac, the gimbal, the Go Fast, all of that, and still still more interested, but not fully invested.
Mhm.
But then I interviewed James Fox on my other podcast on Lone Star Plate about Moment of Contact, the
Yes.
incident, right, in Brazil. And when I saw that, because I got a screener for the movie, I watched the movie, then I interview him. And after that, I was like, dude, I want to start a podcast about this. Like, I want to start a show about this stuff, And yeah, we called it Vetted. And because at the end of the day, I don't want to just cover UFOs. I do want to get into larger other topics that involve the strange and mysterious that I'm absolutely fascinated by. I mean, I can't get enough of it, to be honest with you.
What brought you into the whole UFO thing though? I know you said the James, you've done the interview with James Fox, but is anything prior to that? When did your interest first peak with this?
I mean, like I said, just like I said, just always had a general interest in it. That 2017 New York Times article comes out. I'm way more interested in it. And I think that James
never experienced or anything.
No, I've never had an experience, a personal one. I've had friends that have. So as I've gone down this journey, you start, just things I never talked to with friends or family before. And all of a sudden you start to find out, wow, a lot of people have had experiences, and especially people I know, people that I worked with very closely, or family members or friends who tell me something. I'm like, dude, how you never tell me that before? Like, well, I don't know. It's one of those things you just never talk about. So that definitely just, keeps me more interested. But I don't have any personal experience, and I think just seeing James Fox's documentary made me realize there may actually be some truth to this for me, because to me before it was fun, but I wasn't sure what was going on, and I wasn't willing to dive in because I was working. I owned my own business. I'm in the food business. I didn't have time to really dive too deep into it. But once I got into podcasting more, well, now I got more free time. Now I can read books, watch documentaries, get more involved with this, and it's been quite a journey since almost a year now.
So what do you think the phenomenon is?
I mean,
it's a big question.
It's a loaded question, Dave.
If you can sum it up in maybe 4 words.
Yeah. I mean, in 8 words or less.
Yeah, 8 words or less. Yeah.
No,
man.
I mean, it has so many aspects of it, and tends to be the people who spend more and more time, the more you talk, and I'm sure as you're finding out, the more you research and learn, the preconceptions you have just kind of keep getting broke. Like, well, it's obviously this. Well, this phenomenon, it goes along with this, but it's also part, and you're like, ooh, what?
That's
where
a
you
good point.
Talk to credible people, And I'm just curious where you're at on that. Where have you come to that? Not saying that it is something, but what do you think it looks like, right? At this moment, things always change.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Okay. So you kind of just put the disclaimer down, right? So I don't know what exactly is going on, but I've heard so many theories. I honestly, it's hard to think what I think it is. I think what I do think is true is that there's multiple things going on. I don't think there's necessarily one squared answer that just fits in the box perfectly and it sums it all up for everybody, and not, on a bow, wrapped up, perfect. It's aliens from planet, Sardinia or whatever the fuck it's called, or it's I think there's multiple things going on with the phenomena. I think it's a mix of, misidentification of things. I think people are misidentifying a lot of things in the sky, or even their own experiences that they're having. And then the ones that aren't being misidentified, you're misidentifying it in another way, because let's say you do get abducted. How do you know what that being is and where they're from, what's going on? Even if they told you, even if they spoke in your and said something to you, can you trust that you get? I don't think there's any way for us to know what this phenomena is, which is why the conversation of talking about like what you think it is, speculating the different theories is what's fascinating to me, because we're in this sort of purgatory of information. You know,
it's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
You're saving that for your next episode, because you did say on your last episode that you want to throw a few theories in the next episode. Are you bringing AI into this?
Oh, my digital aliens thing
Yes.
that I said. Yeah. I'm making a video about that this weekend. Yeah. I mean, it's, theory is an interesting word to use. Maybe I should have used that. People are like, oh shit, are you going Chris Leto on us? I was like, hang on. I'm not solving physics here. I'm just, I think if you're in this topic long enough, you start to think about what this thing could be based off things you've heard and what people have seen. And you start to, through your own experiences and knowledge, filter that into some why of and who this thing or what it could be. And honestly, my digital aliens theory, if we want to call that, I've had that for years. Like I've thought about that for years, honestly. Like, I remember years ago, we were talking about being in bands earlier, Lee. I first started smoking pot when I was in my 20s. Okay, I'm in my 40s now. I don't smoke anymore. But back then, I smoked a lot of pot in bands, right? And I remember one time thinking, dude, these they're not aliens, man. They're us from the future, man. And it's like you start to realize, oh, yeah, people write books like that. Like it's not an original thought. Other people come to a lot of these same conclusions. So I even think bits of what my video will be about, people will be like, oh yeah, it's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. But I haven't seen it conclusively come together the way that I'm thinking about it. So again, it's just going to be one more egg in the basket for people to think about. Like at the end of the day, we don't know. So and again, I don't know if it would be one thing. Yeah. Wouldn't it be more exciting, right? If it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, who knows?
Something I always say is like, when it comes to this, like the phenomenon is the ocean, right? And in our oceans, we have jellyfish, dolphins, yellowfin tuna, and squids. Yeah. They're all vastly different things. They live in the ocean, they're sea creatures. So exactly. Yeah.
100%. Y'all saw that movie Nope, right?
Yeah. I like that. I like that theory. I like the idea.
That was sick. I thought that was sick. I mean, I wasn't super into UFOs, and so like I didn't know like, oh, is that something that people talk about? Because I'd never seen that before. I was like, oh shit, the UFO is the alien. Like this is genius. I thought that was cool. I don't know. That seems interesting that there would be animals flying through space, like living, like there's life in space, not just on planets and under certain atmospheric conditions. That life is in space as well. I don't know.
We're kind of locked into this theory where in order for there to be life in like other places, it has to be carbon based. It has to be on something that's like what we're on. But we've no idea.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. That's because we have one reference, right? We have Earth and humans, and that's it. So but to be fair to us, also, what else would we do but theorize through the filter of ourselves? Yeah. Right. That's what else do we have? Like that's our best bet. I mean, we got to do that. We have to assume that life is going to have the biology and capabilities to take in reality around them. Ears, right, for the sounds of the universe. Eyes for the light waves of the universe, right? A mouth and vocal cord for ingestion of energy and getting out sounds or whatever, however you want to put it, right? Arms to move, like feet, like it seems like a brain, like it kind of seems like there'll be these basic ideas throughout it, but how that will look will be interesting, right? Because you do evolve around your environment. So, but is that even always true? We don't know, right? So like it's just fascinating to think about.
I liked one of the things you said there is you to take in your reality, understand like you know what I mean? Like reality. All right. On what level? Lights in the sky, right? Yeah. One of my favorite theories is that the lights in the sky themselves, they're plasma creatures. Totally could be.
Oh,
totally
really? Oh, I never
natural to
heard
get.
that.
Oh yeah,
I never heard
it's,
that.
It's one I like. It's like a plasma based, like ball lightning is this phenomenon that no one can really explain. And the way that, oh well, it's ball lightning you saw move. Well, it's energy. We're energy in a biometric mechanical mech. Maybe that's
Sure.
energy without one. I don't know. It's fun though.
I mean,
Nonsense is fun.
100%. I mean, who's to say? Like,
Yeah.
you know, what about that eclipse we just had here? That really got my mind blown because for a split second, like, you know, I have my glasses on. I'm in Dallas, so it came right over me. I got the totality right underneath me.
Yeah.
And I got the glasses, and I'm like, dude, I can barely see shit. Like, it looks cool, but so I'm like, okay, we hit totality. Fuck it, Patrick. You're never gonna be here again. So I just you know, shoot down the glasses real quick and just take a quick pick or a quick peek, you know, for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that image is it just really made me realize where we are. We're on this little rock. I mean, I know we get that thought every once in a while as human beings, you know, but it really just hit home. Like, dude, we're on this little rock spinning around. Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, anything that people are coming up with of what could be out there or what exists, why isn't it plausible? Why is it nonsense? Why is it fucking crazy? I'll tell you what's fucking crazy. The fact that we're on this fucking planet flying around this sun ball of energy. So, like, that's real. That's there. Like, why is this other thing we're talking about crazy? Like, I don't get it, you know?
You should know Ollie's a flat earther.
That's okay. I'm a flat peopler. I think there's flat people. So
no, man, I get what you're saying. I actually took my wife and I took our 5 kids and my buddy and his kids, and we went to Arkansas for to get in the path of totality.
Oh, nice.
You know how they moved it, right? Like, originally we were going to get 2 minutes and 30 seconds of like darkness.
Yeah.
But they said, oh, the calculations were off. And when they shifted it, we got the full amount, 4 minutes and 13 seconds. So we recorded and took pictures. And it was, I get what you say. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's intense. You see it all go dark instantly. You can see it, you know, the sun, the moon moving in front of the sun, and then you start to picture what that looks like, right? And it's at an angle, right? Where we're on the side of a sphere, so we're like standing oddly, right? If we were to zoom back on us from Earth, right? It's just so weird how it all works, and gravity, and it's just crazy, and like how it had to be exact for that moment to happen, right? For us to get that totality. Again, it just makes you stop and realize our place in all of this. So with that said, again, it to me, it just opens up the door to why can't we have these thoughts and think about these things? And, you know, there are all these people having all these experiences across the globe that are it's just too many to ignore, you know, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people worldwide. And some of the most credible people you could imagine. It's intriguing to say the least. What do y'all think the phenomena is? What are y'all's like leading theories?
We've changed a lot. Like over
you had the same reaction I did.
No, I mean I have an idea. I'm just hesitant.
I tend to think that this is more metaphysical now, rather than people jumping in spaceships and traveling like millions of light years across the galaxy. Like we get like shouted at quite a lot in the comments because we liken the aliens to demons quite a lot, and I think it's only because it's, you know, it's a word that's been around for a long time to describe essentially interdimensional entities, and it's just a handy word to use for them, but I just don't. I think it's like what I was saying before about humanizing things, like the idea that these things are making nuts and bolts craft and then jumping in them and heading on over to Earth to maybe scoop a couple of cows up, suck a couple of hillbillies up out of a field, and then go on about their way. It seems like an awful lot of effort.
Yeah,
Ollie.
Well, I mean, I've dabbled in this for years, and I think since it was 2015, I decided to make Alien Addict, which used to be called Alvis 51. Weird name. It was just a YouTube name that got subscribed. But I was intrigued to find out somebody who's found their interest in this from 2017 to some. I'm pretty much in Lee and Dave's Bandcamp. I have no idea what this is. It feels very much that it could be here. But has your mindset changed since the Patrick 2017 to Patrick now, 2024?
Yes.
I don't know how to tell you what year it is, but
yeah, no. Thank you for reminding me. Actually, yeah, I have. I would honestly say I've changed in just the last few months. Even my journey through VETTED, and starting off with, how I wanted to cover this topic has completely changed. As the more I learn about it, the more, I'm actually more open now than I've ever been, which is interesting. Because I was definitely more like, okay, I'm going to come weed out this stuff of the UFO, because I cared. Like, I want to find the real stuff, and I want to focus on that. So let's start vetting out some of this nonsense out of the way so we can get to the real nitty-gritty UFO stuff. But the more I've been involved in this and the more stories I've heard and even feedback and conversations that I've had with people, I just start to realize that, you know what, I need to definitely be more open-minded in hearing these thoughts and theories and ideas. And, definitely just letting my audience decide, presenting that material the best way I can and letting my audience decide at the end of the day what, how they're going to feel about a particular person or an event or subject or a theory, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've had that change. I mean, even within the last few weeks, dude, I had Ashton Forbes on my show, and no one would have thought he would have come on my show before, because, I'd made a video about him and he was not happy with me. And,
you made a really nice apology, by the way.
Yeah, I thank you. I mean, it's just how I felt. I mean, we're human beings. We change, we take in new information. I'm all about reflecting. Taking in new information, reflecting upon what happened. I like to talk with friends and get advice and, get feedback, different perspectives. Am I looking at this from a biased perspective? Am I bringing some sort of emotion that shouldn't be brought? Am I thinking about this critically? And I don't think people can do it on their own. So for me, it's important to have a good, group around me that I can bounce ideas and thoughts, around. So yeah, I wanted to let Ashton know that. And it wasn't just for Ashton. It was the sense of like, for everything. Like, I want to be more open-minded and listen to this stuff. I'm not saying I'm going to believe it and I don't actually think those videos are real from Ashton. I don't, even though we did a live show. I respect the guy 100%. I personally don't think the videos are real, but at the end of the day, I don't know one way or the other, because I just don't have the time to do the deep dive that he has. And I can respect the investigation he put together, all the other information that he did bring about that has nothing to do with the videos, and I think it just made me realize that we need to have that kind of approach to this topic, diving in deep and getting nitty gritty, regardless if you think that's BS. And this is bad. I hate hearing this is bad for disclosure. This is bad. Like, what does that even mean?
The ability to pull back slightly and pivot as well is important. And I don't think that there's enough of that. Like in this whole thing, it's people have put themselves set in a mindset, and I don't know whether they're worried about like coming across like they don't know what they're talking about, or whether they're just worried about that if if part of their audience is with them on a certain topic, they feel that they might lose that part of the audience if they change their mind slightly or move around. But I don't think it's healthy for anything. You know, it's where we've had Ashton on like a few times. He's a buddy of ours, and that thing in particular, like for people to like make their mind 100% on that thing at one point after like listening to one interview he's done or something like that is crazy, because I 100% like believe see why anybody would either believe those videos or think they're fake, because it's almost like you turn around to someone and say, oh, just go check out that QAnon thing now. And it's because it's this massive, big moving machine which has gone on. And, you know, Ashton's done like, 4-hour live streams where he's been doing live research on this thing. It's almost like an impossible task to just jump into it and have like an opinion straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually met Ashton. Like, we hung out when he came out to Nashville, and I drove down and we saw him. We hung out for a while, so I got to know him. For me, it was like the personal attacks, because it became less about the idea or the information, in the person, and it's such a toxic and bad thing. Like, let's talk about the idea. Like it, hate it, it's an idea. But some people are so entrenched in their ideology or their tenets of philosophy of the world that they take it as though it is an attack on them. And that is not where we need to be intellectually here. Like, we have to be open, because we're talking about crazy things. Let's always remember, we're talking about crazy things. Have fun with it. Like, Bigfoot's flying the spaceship. I don't know. Maybe. Let's talk about it. This is possible. I don't know. He might really like Chicago dogs. That's why he's here.
No, it's a good point. Yeah, I got a lot of I had people unsubscribe from the channel for doing, the Ashton interview. A few Patreon members left.
Wild.
Discord. You name it. I got messages, emails. I just ignore it all, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And I witnessed Ashton get personally attacked for nothing. People made up stuff about him, and even something happened privately that I found out about to Ashton, and I brought it to Ashton's attention. And that's how Ashton and I made up, is because I really found out. I was like, dude, I don't care who you are. This is not cool to do. Like, I don't hate Ashton Forbes. I just had an opinion about his videos, right? And made a video about it. I don't hate this person. And to see these people are doing these things to him behind the scene, I was like, dude, this is not cool. And I reached out to him and I said, hey man, I found out about this thing. You should know about this. I know you and I don't get along, but I don't care who you are. This is not cool, dude. So like, I'm letting you know. And he was like, no, thank you. And we just water under the bridge. Dude, we're adults, right? We just said, you know what, dude, screw all this nonsense, right? Like, and then it was like, you know what, man, come on the show. Let's talk, dude. I owe you an apology, and I want to give it to you, and let's have a conversation, dude, and let me hear you out. Maybe I didn't, like I said in my video, right? Like maybe I didn't give you the platform you deserved, in the sense of, to hear you out, right? Like, you deserved more. So I just want to be more open-minded like that with Vetted. I do. I want to hear more out, and just hear more out, and just ask questions. Just be civil about it. That's it. Just want to be civil about it. Of course, I'm going to have questions. Again, like you said, we're talking about crazy stuff. I'm going to have questions. Like, and that's all it is. And I just hope it stays that way. But it took me a minute to find my footing in this community, but at the end of the day, I always have, we got to have fun and be civil about this at the end of the day. And if we can just stay there, we can pretty much talk about anything.
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 Speaking of that, what so far has been your favorite, the most interesting part of anything you've covered thus far?
That's a good question.
What like sticks with you? Like, wow.
Yeah. I think immediately of like, a lot of the stuff, Tim Taylor. Okay. The stuff I've covered with Tim Taylor, who is in Diana Pasulka's book, Tyler D is Tim Taylor, and he was in Chris Bledsoe's UFO of God. So I'm super still fascinated with how Tim Taylor fits into the whole web and like downloading protocols and information. That's fascinating stuff to me. Chris Bledsoe and his story, I find that absolutely fascinating, and that's probably been it. That's what's really intrigued me the most. Right now, I'm working on I'm releasing this really pretty intense video I've been working on for a minute on Monday about Michael Herrera, his story. So that's pretty fascinating. That's a fascinating story. I'm really excited to release that video, actually.
Yeah, I'd love to speak to him. Out of all those people that came out of the Greer thing, like Herrera's thing really got me. You know, I know the Antarctic guy kind of got the headlines in the end, didn't he, with the things he was saying? But Herrera's story really sort of got me thinking.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's a fascinating story, and the video I'm going to release Monday is like it just like the Ashton Forbes interview. It's an example of where VETTED is heading with that. You know, the Ashton interview was a great example of where I want to take this channel and have interviews just like that, where I can talk to anybody about anything. Let's just discuss it. And the Michael Herrera video will be the long form sort of video that I want to do once a month, and that format, and people will get a real good idea. I'm not here to gotcha anybody. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to report on what people said and get all sides and different people and kind of bring it together, aggregate it for people to get a good look at it. But first of all, foremost, respect that story that's being told. So I made sure that this Michael Herrera video, I respect Michael and his story and how he came forward. And I, you know what I mean? I just wanted to tell his story and let people decide from there. And I don't know if, 3 months ago, I would have made that video. I think I would have been more gotcha, more let me find all the holes and you know what I mean? And I just don't want to, I want to get to the truth, but I want to do it in a respectful way, a productive way.
It's I don't think there's enough of that either. I mean, it's what we try and do when we interview people. Like we get stick now and again, because you'll always get the comments that are saying like, "Why aren't you asking tougher questions?" You go,
"Oh my god,
it's not my job to ask tougher questions."
Bro, my channel's called VETTED. Trust me, I get that all the time. I hate it.
Do you like at the risk of like maybe alienating viewers slightly? Does it ever surprise you how closed-minded the communities are, that are into sort of alternative topics? Because they're all kind of adjacent to each other. It's you have someone that's 100% convinced that reptilians are running the world, but they think Ashton Forbes videos are ridiculous. You go, like,
yep,
come on.
Oh, yes. That's exactly true, man. I make the joke on my channel all the time. It occurred to me when I did a video on remote viewing months ago. This was like last November, and I'd never done a video. I just let me look into remote viewing, and I remember posting on Reddit, and everyone was like, "This is bullshit. Remote viewing's bullshit." Anyway, so interdimensional time traveling human being. I was like, "What the fuck?" What do you mean that remote viewing's bullshit, but not interdimensional time traveling? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I was blown away by that. And I just thought, wow, okay, that's interesting. How the same thing with someone like Jeremy Corbell, who's been in this so long, for him to say that the MH370 videos are bullshit. Like, dude, what research have you done into them? You release videos too, dude. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you're a person that releases stuff, like, you should be open to everybody's stuff too, because you're wanting people to be open to yours. There we are. There's the guy.
He's a huge fan of
them.
He has
look
our
at them
merch.
merching. Yeah, he's merched out. I love that.
We comped him the shirt.
Yeah, and comped on the shirt.
That was by request, though. That wasn't us just being that. He specifically,
no, of course.
Yeah, he wanted a mounts position. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
What do you think of Corbell, though? On a serious note, I mean, we've gone back and forth a few times on our. I mean, we've actually had emails back and forth with Corbell asking for my number. Never got back to me. Wanted my number, but like, where do you find yourself with Corbell? What's he doing?
Yeah, I mean,
Call me Jeremy.
Yeah. I did some videos on him, and he came to my channel and started commenting on my videos.
Oh.
And then, I would pin it to the top of the comments, right? And he would answer everyone's questions. And I was like, okay, that's cool. He's being cool. Then one day he tweeted me out like, hey, I watch Patrick's show. He's great. Follow this guy. And I got to be honest, from that moment, things changed because all of a sudden there was a lot more people mean to me. And I was like, wait, what's going on here? I don't understand. And I would try to like reach out to him or something, and I didn't get any response. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I respect what he's doing. I mean, what is he doing? He's releasing videos. He's trying to put stuff out there for people to investigate and look at and take in. And he spreads the word about UFOs and taking it seriously. It's not that I'm going to agree with every single thing he's going to say. That would be crazy for me to agree with anybody like that, right? Period. Even, the Pope. I mean, there's nobody I'm going to agree with everything they say. So, but at the end of the day, yeah, man, I respect his hustle, his grind, what he's doing. He's just doing his thing. And at the end of the day, I don't really have any hate for anybody, and it's like everyone's just doing their thing, trying to do their thing.
He makes really great documentaries, like
yes.
how they're put together, the editing,
the Bob Lazar one was great, dude.
Great.
I love that one. That one was
You know
sick,
what?
dude.
I mean, if you tweeted this, I'm sure you get like a perfectly balanced, like non-adversarial response on Twitter. I think you could argue that he might be the most important person to ever be in the subject, because
That's interesting.
I don't know if, like, because I'm still not sure where this is going, where this whole thing's going. I don't know if this all starts without his documentary with Bob Lazar and spinning that interest in Bob Lazar up. Him releasing like the Tic Tac video and stuff like that. Then we get the Fravor interview, and then obviously Fravor finds his way to Rogan, and then that really starts to like send things to the moon. I don't know if we get here without him. I don't think people give him enough credit for that. Now, why he's done it, and I flip-flop daily on whether he's part of some sort of greater psyop or not, and the whole thing's a psyop or not, maybe. But you definitely can't. I don't think anyone could seriously say that he hasn't been like a huge reason for where we are right now.
His Patient 17 film was a sleeper that nobody talks about.
That's a great movie.
It is
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's about an abductee and them testing the material they pull out from an alleged implant, and them getting an isotopic reading of the material that is not of this galaxy. And the way the physical science behind it is, could you replicate it? Absolutely. In a lab.
I think that doctor's
With
dead.
A lot of money
as well.
He is dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
he's passed away. The guy that was doing all the So
it's a sleeper of a film. He goes to the experts. I mean, it is definitely worth checking out. That's how I came across him. I saw it. I was like, oh, this looks interesting, and I watched it, and I was like, this is how is not everyone talking about this?
Yeah,
this is huge. This is huge.
Totally.
And everyone's like, "Oh, Jeremy Corbell's blah blah blah." And like, well, he may be blah blah blah. He may only contact Ollie because Ollie has tiny hands, and we all know tiny hands, right? But always make it look bigger. But the reality is, he's doing great work. Whatever his contacts are, and that Patient 17 film is fantastic. And it just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a fanboy, but I appreciate the work he's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, man. He's making documentaries. He goes on news. He spreads the word. His weaponized podcast, people watch it. Is he going to do everything perfect? Well, of course not. Nobody is. I mean, people could complain about y'all's channel, my channel, everybody's right. Like, we're not perfect.
Constantly.
They constantly complain about our channel.
Yeah, right. I mean, so I can see why. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, we don't
no,
even
I'm
get
kidding.
compliments. We're only here for the hate trolling. Yeah, at the end, wait till we start going over people's individual mothers by name.
Oh, wow.
Great time. We're coming for you this time, Susan. You know you.
Oh God. Oh, Susan, I got your back, Susan.
We've had, most of us have met each other's mothers.
Yeah.
Well,
Ollie's mom is smoking hot.
Yeah, and most people
Wow.
have met her.
Ollie. He's like, don't even. I will hit you with these small hands.
She's a sweet person.
On the the sort of modern disclosure movement, do you think this is actually going to lead us somewhere? Because I've said all along that I think there is some sort of end game to the disclosure movement. I don't know what it is. I do think it feels like it's worrying me that it's starting to peter off a little bit now, and there might be some sort of hiccups in the way. But do you think there's some sort of end in sight with it?
Well, I would just ask, like, what do you mean by disclosure movement? How do you define that?
From the 2017 article with the leading with the congressional hearings, like, to government acknowledgement of it. And he's like, we have a joke on this channel that I stopped believing in UFOs when the government told me they're real.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah. Because it's still like when you have Grush, I can't remember who was the really attractive congresswoman that Grush was speaking to about the biologics.
Oh, Paulina Luna.
Yeah.
Is that who you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And when she was saying, like, was there any sort of beings in these crashes? He said, yeah, we recovered biologics with the non-human biologics. And you're watching this in, like, US Congress. And you go, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, the wildest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I don't understand how we go from that to just fizzling out to nothing now.
I mean, dude, I ask that on VETTED all the time. I agree, man. I think things are going to progress, of course. Now, let's break down the word progress, because that doesn't necessarily mean good, right? I guess it could regress in some sense, but it will move forward, but maybe not in the way people want, right? So you're involving the government, the American government, which moves at a snail's pace to make anything happen, right? Like, so this is the first attempt to get this huge bill in, the UAP bill, right? In the National Defense Authorization Act of 2023 here in America. That's going to take many more times, I think, for that to even go through at some serious level, to get the kind of budget they're looking for, to do the kind of analysis that's really needed. I think for an individual, your best bet is to just focus on your own personal journey of disclosure, reading books, talking to people, experience it. Like, that's where you're going to get real disclosure from, in my opinion, not the government telling you it's real. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't care if our Congress comes out and says it or not, or if they start a UAP. Like, I just don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm more focused on, I want to hear from experiencers, real stories, real people. That's honestly where my focus is. Cold cases, older stuff, right? And forget, we'll deal with it somehow. They're going to do something. So
I feel like what you're saying is where we're going to get real disclosure is on the VETTED podcast and on Alien Addict and the audio only podcast. So check that out for all the viewers watching right now. Check out our merch links and subscribe, follow, like, share. We appreciate Ollie. We got that bottom thing on the bottom for the t-shirts. Check them out.
Good plug, L. Dave. Good plug, bro. Look, here.
I got a mortgage. Okay.
Wait. I'll put myself on the shirt, guys. This is what you'll look like in an Alien Addict shirt right there.
Nice. Because we
I
all
love
know Vetted and Alien Addict is where you're going to get the truth. Kind of. Probably. I mean, there's going to, at some point.
Let's define truth. I'm just kidding.
Let's not.
Yeah, let's not. Bro, y'all are so much fun, man. I gotta admit, y'all are so. I love laughing, so this is great, dude.
Do you with you saying there that you don't care what the government comes out with, and I completely understand that. Do you think they're going to come out with something? Do you think there's going to be some sort of government approved? This is our story, because, and let's be perfectly honest, that story might very well be bullshit. But
I mean, they're trying with Arrow, right? In the historical report. First of all, shout out to UFO Man. I forgot we're live. There's people watching. So,
yeah.
Hello to all the viewers. If there's any vetters out there, what's up? If you're not a vetter, come check us out. Definitely subscribe to Alien Addict. Hit that like button for the video, guys. That's what helps out the videos the most, is hitting the like button. I promise you. That really, really helps out the video. So thank you all for watching and taking the time here and listening to my dumbass talk about this. Yeah, I mean, our government, again, there's going to be progress, but what that looks like and is it happy to people? I think people like putting all their eggs in this basket of disclosure is a mistake, in my opinion. Like waiting for the government and what whistleblowers are going to come out and the 40 whistleblower and who's testifying and like that's great if it all happens. Like you said, I was equally mesmerized when David Grush, Commander David Fravor, Ryan Graves testified before Congress that was like, what the F, dude, this is crazy. I'm with you. And more of that is going to be great. But I think just waiting around every day for like that next nugget of stuff and like getting obsessed with that and because the expectation becomes high. So you get disappointed, right? So it's just managing your expectations about disclosure is probably the most important thing, so that you're right. You can still be joyful and hopeful and want to look into this topic, because let's be real. If you've had an experience, what do you care if the government says it's real or not? You don't give two craps. You just like, I don't care. I know what I saw. I know what I deal with, or I know what books I've read. And you think these Congress people have done even a minutia of the research that 90% of UFO community has done? Just your average person who is into this topic knows way more about UFOs than the leading congressman, Tim Burchett, any of these people. They don't know, dude. It's all about money to them, following the money, which I get. It's our government, right? They're asking for government funding.
I like to think of it as politicians know as much about ufology and the phenomenon as the general public does about Epstein's client list.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. Nada. Yeah. Oh, I love Skinny Bob. I'm making t-shirts that say I got vetted on Alien Addict. I like it. That's great. That is great, Skinny Bob.
Do you think we're going to hear anything more from David Grush, or do you think that's it now?
That's a great question, man. I wonder the same thing.
I wonder how much more he can give.
Yeah, exactly. What else? That's always been my question. I think Lee was kind of getting to that as well, right? Like we have the hearings. David Grush says biologics, human, we got bodies, NHI, craft. They've reprisals, right? All these hot words, right? All these halo terms, as we call them in the food industry, right? Like something. Like, where does it go? What is the race? What's the finish line? Like, what's the track here that they're running on? Does that make sense? Like, where's it going? Where do I look to see what's on the schedule next? There isn't anything. There's nothing. We don't know what's going on. So with David Grush, it's interesting. I mean, he goes and gives a special presentation in New York, right? To this special group. That's where it's secretly revealed that he was part of a UFO program. He was read into one. He has firsthand knowledge, right? That's where he described the UFO that when you step inside, it's the size of a football field, right? Then in a Twitter space, Gary Nolan says that him and David are working on getting volunteers for Soul. They're trying to get volunteers for the Soul Foundation. Then David Grush gets removed from the website. He's no longer a part of Soul. Then you hear claims that David Grush is trying to get a job with Congress, right? And then like, well, what's that about? And then Eric Burleson, in an interview with Matt Laszlo, clarifies and says, well, you know, we were trying to figure out if David Grush could be some sort of assistant to help us all and kind of, you know what I mean, work our way. I think David Grush just wanted to help, and he just wants to help. And I think David Grush may be in some sort of, you know, I don't know, like fork in the road, but there's nothing past the forks. Like he doesn't know where to go, what to do. Because I think some people that had maybe offered to help him. I mean, he's always said, I'm not here for the fame, fortune. So he's not looking to write a book or get out, or he doesn't have any social media. I don't think he knows where to plant his feet next and do what. What the op-ed is still stuck in Tshir review. So who knows when that'll come out. It took him over a year to get the stuff he could say in an interview and testify before Congress about, which is interesting if you think about it. He had to get Tshir review for his testimony in Congress. That's I don't know. I don't even know what to think about that. I just don't know anything about that stuff. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from David Grush, man. I think that's the big question. That's the money question everyone wants to know. Where is he? What's he doing? What's the next step? And to be fair to people that are frustrated by that, our listeners, our viewers, my listeners, my viewers, I feel that frustration because we've been told something is going to happen and something is coming. So, well, of course, people are waiting around. Well, you know what I mean? Totally makes sense. You told me there's a show at X time. I'm here. I got my tickets. I'm open the door. Let us in. So
I would
don't know.
love to know if it's somebody who we already a name that we already know, i.e. Chris Mellon, Lou, that's been in his ear, or if it's somebody brand new. That would make a massive difference. If it's somebody that we've never heard of, then that opens up a complete different kind of whoop-ass, you know. That is, I think it's probably Chris Mellon, but I could be wrong on that.
Who's what? Like, what do you mean? Chris Mellon is what? Like,
that's been in his ear.
About what, though? Like,
about the whole phenomena.
Just period.
Yeah,
this is a whole period, like since day one.
That doesn't mean that's a bad thing. I mean,
yeah.
But that's who I think it could be.
That's definitely happening. There's no doubt that Chris Mellon and some others. I mean, that the 40 whistleblowers, right, that he has, right, that he testified, or witnesses. I shouldn't say whistleblowers. He said 40 witnesses. Some hostile, even, if you remember from his testimony, meaning like some don't really even want to be witnesses. We found out who a few of those people are, right? So Eric Davis, Dr. Eric Davis, Carl Nell, probably Danny Sheehan is my guess. And you start to think, oh, okay, who are the other witnesses? Probably just people you've heard of. Like, there's no new names, I don't think. Now, I do know that whistleblowers go to different people in the community. So Greer will get whistleblowers. Corbell will get whistleblowers, right? James Fox will get whistleblowers. And they're not necessarily all connected. And it's just who they trust, who they think is telling the truth in the UFO community. So they go to that person. Even Greer, right? If he's so whatever combative or controversial, I should say. I don't really have an opinion on it, but just controversial. So some people love him. Some people just hate that guy. So, but there's a lot of people that trust him. You know, Lee was talking earlier about that press club event, right? That happened with Michael Herrera, Eric Heckler, or whatever his name is, the Antarctica guy, and many other people testified, right? Because they trusted in Greer and wanted to come forward. So I do know there are new names going to be coming out as whistleblowers, like in the James Fox documentary, for example. You know, and that's interesting. I don't know why.
I think it's what we need, isn't it? It's because I think what Ali's trying to say there when he was saying if there was someone else in behind the scenes that we don't know yet, it's a whole new avenue of people that might have actually been like hands-on with these things that people are talking about. Because at the minute, like as cool as Grush's stuff was, he's talking about things that he's been told about, and that's he's been briefed on them. He's clearly high up in the situation he was in, but that's different than somebody turning around and saying, yeah, the non-human biologics, yeah, I've seen one of those things. I saw it on the table. It was cold in front of me. It had 3 fingers. It was gray and had massive black eyes.
100%. Yeah, without a doubt. Because David Grush's firsthand knowledge is, according to him, is that they've seen UFOs on satellite imagery, and that they know how to track them through a certain frequency, and that he's seen crash lights through satellite imagery. But yes, I totally agree with you, Lee. Like we need people that have I think
it's the next step, isn't it? It's the next step.
Like I dropped my Apple Watch in one of those bodies. I want it back.
Yeah.
I whatever it is, I flew this craft, or I saw this craft, or we worked on it, or
really.
If you did drop your Apple Watch in an alien body, I do happen to know somebody with tiny hands that could get it back without causing damage to the body.
It'll help too, because it turns out those bodies are made by Apple in China.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
That's
you talk
funny.
about whistleblowers. You know who we had one time on here?
Who?
Guy who had sex with cat aliens.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, we're on the cutting edge. That's why I say, if you want truth, you need to come to the Alien Addict podcast and VETTED. So like, share, subscribe, because we have the cat alien people.
So is that serious? I mean,
I wish that was a joke.
No, it's I'm new open Patrick here, so I'm curious. Like,
don't tell that guy.
So wait, so it was a guy, and he said he had
I don't want to
relations.
assume his gender pronouns.
Okay,
but yeah,
he had pictures.
He was a human being who allegedly had pictures of himself having sexual relations with a feline
cat aliens.
Cat alien. Okay, like they were full size cats or little
human size.
Full size.
Human size cats.
They were just cats in the sexy ways.
Okay.
Whatever that
I
means.
love it. Okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, okay. This guy,
he's great.
All right.
I have a feeling this guy got
like
high.
here on Earth, or was he taken to a ship?
Twice.
He's like, we brought him back. We
want him again.
Apparently, he's had sex with dog aliens too. So
no, he's not a dog
kind
of guy.
No, I'm just kidding. That's interesting.
See, I stopped him at the sex. The last interview, I stopped him at the sex, and that's where the interview stopped. But now I'm thinking,
that's where it's just getting good.
We need to
getting good there.
We were just building the anticipation. That's all. We figure a couple years of pumping it up, and we take some like Zoloft or something before the episode starts, and it's going to be great.
Did he? What was it like? Consensual?
You're curious, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. This is what I do, bro. I have a bazillion questions now. You just told me this thing. So, like, is it consensual, or was he saying like he was abused?
We'll send
you. He didn't say.
Great question.
He didn't say.
Well, I got to be honest. When someone tells you they've made love to a cat alien, the first thing you don't think of is, did they? He said take it from you.
You said yes.
He said, yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, did y'all go on a date first? Was this?
Well, they were cats in the sexy kind of way. So yeah,
a few minutes of sex.
You don't say. Well, let's give him some credit. There was more than one. Yeah.
All right. So
he's making things happen.
He said made love though.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just. I'm churching it
that. Got it. Yeah. Well, because that's a big difference, right? Like if he's like, oh yeah, I made love to him. We're in love,
His wife was on the show as well.
Oh wait, what? Wait a second. The wife. Wait,
it's divorced now, Dave.
Is he?
The wife. The wife knew about this. The wife knew about this too. That's interesting.
I mean, she was there when the story was being told.
So she's like, oh, okay, yeah. Wow. That's an open relationship if I've ever heard one.
That's a whistleblower.
That's a whistleblower, right?
That's a
there,
hero.
bro. That's
For
a
the
hero,
record,
man.
I would like to state that when the cat alien man was on, I was actually nothing to do with this channel, and oddly, it's one of the episodes I haven't gone back and looked for.
He's like, I was not a part of that. Yeah, I was not a part of that.
Lee missed out on the best moment.
Yeah, that's
Did I?
Hands down.
Did I?
That's hilarious, dude.
But
in all seriousness,
Cat.
going back to Greer, I'm going to
Yeah.
bring a picture that Lee sent me that shocked the living shit out of me.
Oh shit! Okay,
You want to see him with the cat?
let's see this.
So
Is this you with big hands?
a lot?
Oh,
What is it?
no.
A lot
They
of
don't have
people-
surgery
That-
for that yet.
That would shock them if you had that picture.
Well,
Look at him on his chest. Look how small
big
that is.
hands. Now here you go. This one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on here.
Left to right, you got Henry Diamond, Dr. Stephen Greer, Dr. Bruce Maccabee, George Lamb, Robert Bigelow, the billionaire, Linda Moulton Howe, Dr. Leo Sprinkle, Keith Thompson, Dr. John Mack, Lawrence Rockefeller, Dr. C.B. Scott Jones, Johnny Jones, Robert Teets, behind the camera, Marie Bootsy Galbraith, and Richard Farley.
Have you ever seen that
Rockefeller.
picture?
I've never seen that picture.
Many people
Mm-mm.
haven't.
I don't even know who more than half those names are.
The key ones would be Greer. Well, we know Greer,
Yeah.
Bigelow,
Yeah.
Linda Moulton Howe, and Rockefeller. And Bigelow
Yeah.
and Linda Moulton Howe are clearly pals. And if I'm judging by body language and the heads leaning in towards each other, they're very friendly.
It's possible. It's interesting.
Greer's mentioned
interesting.
Rockefellers, though. That's no secret. He has mentioned his
Yes, he has
connection with the
100%.
Rockefellers.
Maybe that's who offered him the $1 billion.
Well, there you go. I
Should have
mean,
took it.
do you think is there something going on behind the scenes in? The
I mean,
UFO?
Dr. John Mack's there's too.
Yeah.
That
There's
is
a
an
lot of
interesting
shirt
picture.
tucking going on there. I'll tell you that one right now.
So when you go to these places and you get given you get given money to do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's
What
like
is- what is it they
the
gotta
Rick
do?
Doty stuff. Is that what you mean? Like that?
I mean, I'm not going to put anything out there, but
Sure. I mean, that happened, right? The Rick Doty, he
Yeah.
Paul Benowitz, but what was the other guy that the ufologist that came out? Remember in the big speech and was like, "I got paid to do." Like, who was that guy? He had
Puff
a big
Daddy?
beard. No.
Puff Daddy.
He pays people to do things.
Bro, if Puff Daddy was part of the UFO community, he got paid off by Rick Doty. That would be the biggest bombshell ever. Like,
You heard it here.
holy
You
shit.
heard it here.
You heard it here first. You're really losing all credibility with that truth thing you brought up earlier, Dave. I'm just
We
saying.
didn't define
I'm
it.
kidding. I'm kidding. That's funny, dude. That's really funny. Yeah, no, it was some guy with a big, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that shit happens, right?
That's what Puff Daddy says.
Bob Ag, love the show apart from Ollie's haircut. Wow, Ollie can't do anything right. His
No.
hands, his hair,
on this show.
everything. They're just hating this
It's
guy
not.
so much. Bro.
I would like to encourage the
crazy.
super chatters now that if you'd like to make Ollie cry, then to continue super chatting.
He is wildly self-conscious.
You
That's
can't
what
even
makes it
see
really
his
fun.
hair
Mega-
barely.
It's mega show.
No,
I think it
it's-
looks fine.
That's that
man,
hair.
it's
right?
Thanks, mate. Thanks,
it's pretty
mate.
thin.
Yeah.
You can-
It's great. I
I
think
love you,
everybody's got
Bob.
great hair here.
Thanks for the super chat, Bob. You bastard.
Yeah. You bastard. I love it. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, I was going to ask something before. We were asking you. It was because you brought radar stuff up. It was a bit of a fun one. What did you think of that stuff that was coming out today? With the Arctic Sea anomaly.
Wait, what?
The Arctic
Did you
Sea-
see that thing today with the Arctic Sea anomaly?
Yeah.
Huh. I
So
don't even know what y'all talking about.
there was an hey, Ollie, can you see if you can pull it up on Twitter while I'm explaining
This is
it?
great.
It's
Yeah, this is-
incredibly
this is-
fascinating.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're asking
So-
me to pull it up.
Yep. Come
Great.
on, do your best young Jamie impression.
Yeah.
There was a swell in the sea. It seems like something came out of Antarctica, the size of Texas, and has been moving up towards the Atlantic over the last Tuesday to Thursday.
Yeah,
Tuesday to
87
Thursday?
foot waves. 87 foot waves measured.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Exactly. I think that is the technical definition that
Yeah,
they're going with right now.
That's the press release. It just
So-
said, "What the fuck?"
The best part of it is
Wow,
to try and
what?
explain this away. That the
I'm
company,
writing this down.
yeah, the company that does like the buoy type like stuff, looking for tsunamis and stuff like that. No, not those type of buoys.
Buoys. We're not Puff Daddy. We're not
Yeah.
Puff Daddy Epstein in it. We're buoys.
To be fair, we do just call them boys in the UK.
You call them boys?
Yeah.
Surprised. You know, I'm gonna let it go. It's fine.
That makes sense.
The so the company that records the data of this has come out and said, "Oh yeah, it was just it was a mistake in the feed." Are you aware of who Dutch Sense is? He used to be on YouTube back old time YouTube days. He got his channel deleted. He essentially like catalogs and looks for seismic activity. Think of him as like a fringe weatherman. Is essentially
Who's very good. Who's
Yeah.
very
Bro,
good.
What a
Awesome.
great! I would want to see that guy's weather reports. Right?
Yeah.
How cool
How you
would that
doing?
be?
and he's essentially so that square that blob down at the bottom of Africa was recording 85-foot high waves with the swell that
Wait,
was underneath.
and
it.
that's
And
that's
they're
actually
saying that's a
bad picture of it.
mistake.
yes.
They're saying the
actually-
data that came in was a mistake.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a glitch in the system. That's actually a bad one. Ollie, if you can find the better picture where it's clearly defined when it's coming out.
That's just what Lee sent me. Like,
See, that's the
I
problem.
was at a funeral today. Like I'm as
Don't
much
give
out of the
me
loop with this
excuses
as
here,
Patrick.
all right?
Ollie, if you
Trying to
don't find
buy it
that
out.
picture, your whole family's going to be at a funeral.
What
Come
am I
on.
finding?
Come on. What, just because you're dyslexic, now you can't type and read?
Oh my god, I love. Yeah, no, he reads and types.
Exactly.
On the other hand,
So is there a precedent for that information
no,
for
no,
data like
no.
that for that happening before?
Nope.
So
No.
there's no precedent for that.
And
And
the
it-
interesting thing was that Dutch came out and said he hadn't seen anything like this before, and that section of data from the company that recorded it has now scrubbed that section and got rid of
Yes.
it. So they said it was a mistake, and they've scrubbed it.
Okay, come on.
In the original
we
ones, like
talking about
the
here?
ones where they're showing you, it has a very clearly defined image. Like it's a defined area. It's very sharp. And the buoys they have set are incredibly sensitive, right? Like it allows the
Yeah.
accurate weather. Like they charts. Everyone uses this, so it's very interesting. It's very Miami mall shooting. It's like, it was just some kids with the sticks. Well, where's the videos?
Well, but you would see
no
an
videos.
effect from 80-foot waves
Mm-hmm.
off the coast of Africa, wouldn't you?
It depends, right? What's the object? What's it doing? What's its propulsion? What's the science behind it? How are these things being
You think
moved?
they're
How
pulling the
deep is
waves
it?
back in?
What if it's on top of the water and not under it? What if it's just
Somebody
displacement as it moves?
would have had. Doesn't somebody have eyes on this now?
What if it's a gravitational anomaly from propulsion?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
whatever it is, it's unknown, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's nothing. Let it go." Oh, this happens all the time. Then no, never before.
Mm.
Oh, so you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
your system isn't safe? No, it's totally safe, 100% reliable. Wait a minute, what?
There's got to be some people in boats out there because that's a very high trafficked channel, right? For boat traffic. So boats would have
would
to
think.
be missing, and boats would have to also be right? Calling in.
Somebody
this
should be
thing
seen.
is there. Planes also are flying over there. I mean, there's over 10,000 flights a day across the globe. A day. So
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I would think it leans more towards a gravitational anomaly, which is
what does that mean
disconcerting.
to you? What
A
does
gravitational
that look like
anomaly?
to you?
So it is something where the effect of gravity is either lessened or greatened for an unknown reason by unknown means.
So you're not saying there's necessarily an object there that size, but there's an anomaly that size there.
Yes and no.
Okay.
It could be much smaller. Maybe it just has an effect.
The
that's
effect
affecting
is
larger.
I got you.
Yeah, like on space time. What if it's affecting space time in a larger area?
Sure.
Like the physical effects
Like a
is small.
thing.
Yeah, but like the technical effects are or like if you look at the GPS malfunctions and radio malfunctions we have when we have solar storms, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this is something else that we don't understand and they don't want us to know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
See?
I guess. Well, I just sent you balloons for that. So great job.
There's another anomaly.
Oh, there's some more balloons.
How do you
Excellent.
I don't even know how that's going on.
What the fuck, guy? I honestly don't know now. Now it's getting crazy.
See, I shouldn't have said anything.
I did
this.
up the CGI budget for VETTED. I think that's what's happening. It's like in real time.
It's unfortunately the show, because of the cost of that, has now got to go down to 2 days a week.
Yeah. Guys, my balloon budget got out of hand. Yeah.
For anybody listening on Apple or Spotify, VETTED has just released some balloons that are very colourful. It's great.
That's right. Lots of balloons. Yeah, no, you make some great points, L. Dave. Do you go by L. Dave? What should I call you this whole time? I've just
my real name or the name I go by on here?
No. Yeah. What do you like to be called? Like L. Dave or just Dave? Or
depends
L?
on where I am, friend. Depends on where I am and what I'm doing.
You mean where you are in life or just physically?
Sure. On here, I just go by Dave.
Why did you make me call you Big D?
Some people do.
Ollie's like, wait, I've been calling you Daddy this whole time. Why do I have to do that?
Oh, he knows why.
Yeah, he knows why.
Yeah, they came out and visited.
God. Now I know why you like small hands, Dave.
Yeah,
I know now.
Who doesn't?
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh man, dude,
Keeps you coming back.
Y'all are fucking cracking me up. I'm literally crying right now from
Cheers,
that.
welcome to the show.
Cheers, Lee. Welcome to the show, my lad.
Welcome. Great name. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Super sticker.
Yeah, Lee's awesome.
And thank you again, the UFO man,
for the mint poster behind Patrick. What does that mean? Does that mean this?
Oh yeah,
I want to
the classic.
I want to believe.
Mint. What does that mean? Does that mean mint. Good?
That's it.
Yeah.
I think the UFO man is British.
Got it. Is it a British thing?
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Mint.
Love it.
Did you know about the X-Files poster? Do you know how to change that?
What do you mean?
So
no, tell me.
Yeah, so the original poster, which was the Billy Meyer UFO,
it didn't have the forest, right? Or it did?
No, it's a different UFO. They had to change it because they got sued by Billy Meyer's.
Really?
People. Yes.
Oh shit!
So they had to change the UFO.
That's interesting.
Quality, right? It's great.
Why would you have done that? You should have left it and then told people the story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
great advertising. Could have been.
It's great advertising.
I think you've got the X-Files one there. Yes, you have. You've not got the Billy. You've not got Billy's because that one looks real.
I've got the old. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Sandy, beautiful dog, Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little bit Ewok.
Hey, Sandy.
Not gonna lie, I'm happy for all the super chats. I'm a bit sad that they haven't come in with like attacking Ollie in some way.
I was thinking the exact same thing. There's no hate. But
I think
know
you
what?
guys
I
give
bet
enough, to Ollie on your own.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
No, Lee's like, no. I love it.
Yeah, no,
people send
that
really,
the anomaly in the water thing I found really interesting. Apparently the trajectory it was on before they took the data away predicted it would be kind of down towards the bottom of like the south of England by Wednesday if it continues to move up the way it's going.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just, the ripple effect, like the effect from that would be felt. You'd see it. You would.
Mm-hmm.
That's just such a huge space. Like, I think there would just be all these. There'd be TikToks right now.
Yeah, well,
there would be some TikToks going.
That's what I thought. I think the interesting thing is because someone put like ship maps and stuff up, and saying, well, you've got all these ships and you see all the arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
But the ocean's fucking really, really big. And you look at all those arrows and you think, oh god, like the sea must be just teeming with boats all the time. Like, but I've had friends that have worked on sort of deep sea boats, and there's been times where I've had photographs from them sent, and there's just nothing around them. They're just they're in the sea on their own with just space as far as the eye can see. So it's it can look congested when you look at those maps, but I guarantee you there's no the
map.
It's not accurate. Like that. Yeah. If so. I don't know.
Yeah, I get your point, but the thing is also the size of Texas.
But this is how distorted the maps are. Do you know what state is the closest to Africa from the United States?
What state is the closest?
What state is the close geographically the closest?
Oh,
to
that's interesting. Hawaii,
Maine.
No, I don't know. Maine. Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense. What am I talking about?
Because it's a spherical, like the actual land mass is like Canada appears large. It's not. Europe isn't. Russia's really not that big. Africa is massive. South America is massive. Everything else is kind of dwarfed in comparison to those. The maps, the Mercator map that we use is drastically off. So the size of Texas in the ocean is nothing. Something else that's interesting.
Yeah.
Just going to there because my mind is on oceans. Did you hear recently about the oceans they found under the crust? So if you took all the oceans on the surface of the planet, they have found 3 times the volume of water underneath the crust. 3 times the volume of water.
That's crazy.
Well,
I saw this video on Twitter where it showed, showed the Earth, and then as another globe, it showed all the water on Earth and as a globe, and it was tiny, dude. It was like nothing. That's all the water on Earth. So it would be just 3 more of those, I guess, right? Like that's a lot. That's crazy, right? We have a whole ocean the size of a continent that's unexplored.
Yes.
I mean, the ocean is fascinating. Let's be real. We know less about the ocean than space, I think.
Allegedly.
That's what they say.
Allegedly.
That is what
if
they say.
Space, you know what I'm saying?
I
don't want to hurt Ollie's feelings.
Yeah.
We had Bart Sabrell on last week. He'd probably argue with that.
What would he say?
Well, he's the guy that did the moon video.
A funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Have you ever seen that?
Where he walked up to Buzz Aldrin?
Yes.
Yeah, we had him on.
You guys had that guy on that got punched?
Yeah, he was on last week.
No way, dude. What? Wait.
Lovely guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Why did he go after Buzz Aldrin like that?
Have you not seen the movie? A funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
I think I have, but it was just so long ago. I don't remember, but I remember that clip of
him getting
slugged.
Yeah, I mean that would have been. Can you imagine how viral that would have been if social media would have been a thing back then?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? It would be crazy. It did seem like he was harassing Buzz Aldrin, dude.
I mean, well, he went up to all of them. For anyone that hasn't seen that movie, there's a really interesting section which is essentially what the whole documentary is kind of rested on, where he was given a unedited, like classified section of film from the from the module where it seemed to show that they were in low Earth orbit and they were faking the Terminator line on the Earth to make it look like they were further away from the Earth than they were. But in the interview we had with him the other day, I didn't realize it was actually a NASA rocket engineer that gave him $1 million to make that documentary, and said to him, the reason I want you to do this is because like he essentially said, like, I was part of it and we faked it.
The fake the moon landing.
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, shit. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The other interesting thing, which taking this at face value, and I haven't looked into it more, but he was telling us that Neil Armstrong, there's no photographs of Neil Armstrong on the moon. You know, the photographs of like the astronauts and stuff, not one of those photographs are off Neil Armstrong on the moon. And he specifically said he didn't want to be photographed on it. That's a strange thing to happen.
I mean, that is weird. I didn't know that. You know, my last name's Armstrong. So when I was a kid, I used to tell people Neil Armstrong was my uncle. He's not. I mean, I'm not related, but I used to lie about that. Like, oh yeah, he's my uncle, man. He's not. That's fascinating. Yeah, I mean, I that's definitely weird. What am I going to say? That's
Where's your head with what's going on up on the ISS and all that jazz above us, above our heads? What do you think's going on up there? What do you mean? What do you think they're doing
on the ISS?
In space in general, do you think we're being told, we're not being told about stuff that's going on up there?
Oh,
do you think there's a base on the moon?
I mean, it's totally plausible. Definitely plausible, for sure. I definitely think, without a doubt, they're doing stuff up in space that we're not being told. Without a doubt, man. I brought up Tim Taylor earlier. That's what he's known for, running, experiments in lower Earth orbit. But who's to say that's the only place, right? There's definitely stuff happening in space we don't know about. Yeah, without a doubt. What that is, to what extent, I don't know.
Northrop Grumman's going to build that train for somebody on the moon. Right?
That's wild, isn't it? Like,
there's going to be a train on the moon.
Yeah, that's America. That's what we do. All right, we're building a train on the moon.
We got a train
because we can.
Because we can. East to west, baby. East to west.
Yeah. Who's going to ride it? None of your business. We're putting a train on the moon. You putting a train on the moon? Yeah.
We're going to fly people up here to ride this thing.
Who's the poor fuckers that going to get on it the first time? Who's getting on that?
Bro, I would. That's absolutely. No, not the first time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The second time after I know it worked, I'm all in.
Nobody wants to go second.
Third time lucky.
Nobody wants to go second. I would. We're on the moon on a train. I think the second ride is equally as cool, but I mean, that is weird.
Got to worry about.
I mean, I guess I could see long term. Are they thinking like, long term, we're gonna have all these bases and we want to connect them with a train system?
I don't know. I don't.
We have trains here that don't even run, and bridges that are falling apart, and we're fucking talking about building trains on the goddamn moon.
Yep.
What?
America, baby.
America. I mean, it's so stupid. Yeah.
Patrick, I want to ask you this, because when I was thinking of what to do in terms of, I always think with every single guest, what do I do for a thumbnail? What avenue do it? And I watched a few of your older shows, and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to go back down to the 2017. So, what do you think to these? Do you think these 3 pieces of footage that we got, do you think they have legs, or do you think that it's falling apart?
Those videos you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Does it still sit with you how it did when you first
I think I'm
saw
more
them.
intrigued now because I've found out more context around, especially the Nimitz case, for instance, right? There's just so much more context now. And Commander David Fravor, I know so much more now. So I'm even more intrigued by that case. Even finding out that Tim Gallaudet was the one that first saw the Go Fast video, right? I just found that out not too long ago, weeks ago. That's cool. That adds more. Now I'm more interested in that video, right? And the same goes for Ryan Graves's video, the sighting, right, of one of them. I can't remember which one it is, but that's what they saw. That's his buddies that are talking on the feed, right? That's what Ryan Graves said.
Sorry, he didn't see it, did he? His buddies.
Yeah, I guess he saw some, but not that one. Not the one they recorded. But yeah, essentially, and he hasn't seen it with his eyes. It's only been data, right? But yeah, I'm actually more intrigued by those stories now than ever. Because before we just had the videos. There was nothing, no context around it. We didn't really know what was going on. And it's hard to determine, right? Just like the jellyfish video that Jeremy Corbell released at the beginning of the year. If we get more context around that, people are going to be more interested, right? If we get this last half of the video that he says is there, right? That's gonna make you take that beginning video a lot more seriously now that you know all the rest of it, right? So yeah, I'm even more intrigued now by those videos. Which by the way, that's a really cool thing y'all did with the alien and the V and all that. Dude, y'all do a great job with the production and everything. Yeah, dude, that looks sick, bro. That looks sick.
Have you ever
tiny hands?
Have you ever thought? Yes, these little trinkets. Have you ever wondered though? Like, it's strange that it takes us for the military or the Navy to come out with this, for us to take it serious, for the general public to take it serious, and is that by design?
I mean, there's a lot of answers to that. Meaning, like, yeah, there's probably someone somewhere thinking that, But again, there's definitely parts of the public that wait for the information to come to them and they just accept it or not, right? Turn on the news. What am I being told? What's happening in Ukraine? What's happening in Israel? What's happening here? Okay. Just taking in the information, right? And other people are like, I want to find out the information. I'm interested in this thing. I'm going to find out information about it. So I think it's just a mix, you've got a mix of people that rely on that, what they consider to be a credible source, our own government telling them, our own Navy telling them what is happening. And then you have people that don't care or want to find out on their own. They've had their own experience, right? So it's kind of just a mix, in my opinion.
As much as I love those pieces of footage, and I do, I find it really interesting that the conspiracy theorists have started to trust in the government when it comes to this.
Totally crazy.
And they're not looking at, like, if somebody else released something from their mobile phone or like an old photograph from the 1970s or whatever, they'd be like, nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, great point.
But I'll take the military shit.
Yeah, great point.
It's it's flip-flopped.
Yeah. No, that's super great point. Hey, the government is hiding this shit from us, and they've been lying to us, and they hiding alien tech. And at the same time, we need the government to help us uncover the truth. Wait, what? They've been hiding the truth. And then I get people go, well, the government's not a monolithic entity. And that is true. The government is many things and many people. So America is, right. It's 50 states. You can't define what an American looks like. You can't define what America looks like. It's correct. Depending on where you go, America is a million things. And an American looks like a million different ways. Same thing with our government, spread out, so much going on, so many factions within each branch. And then within that, it's a Russian nesting doll all the way down every which way you go. Add on top of that the stovepiping of information, compartmentalization, human dynamics, human ambitions, right? I got my own personal shit. It has nothing to do with some global conspiracy cover up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many different factors to include of how that happens. So it's like I could see both sides. I could definitely see of like, why are we asking the government for help? This is crazy. But at the same time, who else do we turn to? We rely on the government to police itself, essentially, right? Like, what else are we going to do? Have another government on top of that polices that? Then who polices that? And who polices that? And who polices that? Right? Like, it's a circle. Technically, the people, right? We're supposed to keep our government accountable. But let's be real. America has gotten so big, that is impossible. The people cannot keep the government accountable anymore. The government is too big. It will squash any sort of, uprising that it deems, not worthy or going against the main message or narrative or whatever you want to call it, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on what political faction, what is that message? What does that mean? And even within each political faction, it's broken down a million ways, right? So I don't know. It's just crazy. I think, again, at the end of the day, take disclosure into your own hands.
And I hear you say that by doing that, taking disclosure in your own hands and finding the truth, you need to go to the Vetted podcast and Vetted YouTube, as well as Alien Addict on our exclusive Spotify only podcast, our audio, where we go to the bone. We say all the things YouTube and their fascist regime won't let us say here. Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Thank you. And check out our merch, which changes every couple months.
Yeah, as an
hell yeah,
an example of social media stuff. A couple of weeks ago, we had Jake Chansley on. The Q Shaman from January
6th.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
how was that?
It was really good.
Channel.
Yeah, it didn't do as a load of things.
Ollie's like, no, that was the cat alien guy. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. No, I'm kidding.
No, he was fucking cats.
Yeah.
I mean, the man knows what he's into, right?
I shared.
He's out crushing the puss.
I shared our podcast on my personal Instagram account because my personal Instagram account, I've got like more friends on it. I thought, my friends that aren't like into this stuff might want to watch this podcast.
Oh no!
A week after, so this is 2 weeks after that tweet. The week after Jake was on Tucker Carlson tonight, or whatever his show's called now. I get Ollie tries to message me. Ollie tries to message me on Facebook. Can't find me on Facebook. I go to log into Facebook. Rather than logging in, it gives me a screen I've never seen before, saying due to a post to a connected Instagram account. I only have one Instagram account. It's my one, so it has to be that one. Unfortunately, we have closed your Facebook with immediate effect. Although the post does not go against Facebook community standards, so it does not go against Instagram community standards. It does go against Facebook's new political community standards. If you wish to overturn your Facebook ban, you can do this within a court of law in your own country. Because we did a podcast.
Holy shit.
Yes.
That's crazy. Wow.
Don't hate it, if I'm honest. I'm quite happy I'm not on Facebook anymore, so they kind of did me a favor.
Oh yeah, I hate Facebook, man. I hate Facebook so much. I mean, I hate social media, period, if I'm being honest. I would not be on it if I didn't need it for my job.
100%.
I would not use it at all. I don't peruse around. I don't comment. I don't care. I can't stand it, to be honest with you. No, that sucks, man. What was he like? I'm curious. What was he like? Is he an experiencer? Is that the thing? Is he an experiencer?
Lovely guy.
He's a lovely person. He's very thoughtful, a little more in touch with like emotion, and he's kind of just a hippie.
Yeah.
He wants peace and love and everyone to get along. Find your spirituality and path of light. Like we don't need to be like he's not at all the monster anyone has ever said he was.
No,
yeah.
What I find really weird is because obviously, like now he's tied in with the whole sort of MAGA right thing because of January the 6th and Trump and stuff. You speak to him, he is a left wing guy from 2005.
Yeah,
around the time Zeitgeist came out, he would have been. You would have thought he was like a like Zeitgeist. What's it called? The Occupy Wall Street, left wing. Yeah, he was that sort of left wing until the left wing turned into this wild, rampant, crazy beast that it is now.
Yeah, and now it's over on the other side.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I hate politics all the way around, man. In my opinion, what I've learned at 44 is they're both lying. They both don't give a fuck about the average person. Like, no, but it's all they all have dinner together behind the scenes. They're all shaking hands behind the scene. They don't care about us. Like, it's all that. What's that there's like this financial theory about how energy displaces outwards and not upwards, right? And it's the same thing with politics. They say that we argue with each other, right? And the energy doesn't go up to the people in power. It displaces out amongst each other, and we're just left fighting with each other because if we're too busy doing that, right, we can't look where we really need to be looking.
Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, we still don't know who flew on the private plane to Little St. James Island with Jeffrey Epstein, and we don't know who goes to Diddy's parties because the FBI has collected all the evidence.
Yeah,
all of
amongst many other things, right? Like,
correct.
It definitely saddens me to see us fighting with each other politically and this big divide, and it definitely drives me nuts.
I think it, like, especially here in America, as split up as we are, I think the reality is everybody has about 98% of everything in common, and that 2% really doesn't matter that much.
100%, dude.
Genuinely just decent people trying to live their lives with their kids and their own experience, travel in their own little universal path, and they just want to get along with people. It's the fear of the media and these powerful self-appointed oligarchs who try to rule our reality, right? All the meanwhile, they're doing heinous, monstrous things left and right.
Yeah. I don't even think reality is that divided. That's why I hate social media.
Yeah.
It does not reflect real life. Because in my world, and I live in Texas, so nobody can tell me like, oh, you're in some, I don't know, San Francisco or something. It's like, no, dude, I'm in Texas. And I'm telling you right now, everyone's cool. Nobody's fighting. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's, nobody's screaming MAGA at me, walking outside. Nobody's, or the other. Or you're woke or something. Like, nobody's arguing. Everyone gets along. No one cares. It's not very political in real life. Like, I don't see fights at the grocery store. I don't see anything. Everything is fine. It's the same thing like when I lived in Europe. And I remember when I lived in Spain, the first thing everyone asked me there, oh, you guys ride horses and shoot guns in Texas. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? You think I ride a fucking horse to work
every day?
Like, every day? Like, are you crazy, bro?
Big,
I had to learn how to drive a car here. It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I mean, where do you feed it? Do you have to water it? Is this
I would ride a horse. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I don't. And it's just that misconception, misconceptions I had about Europe and then moving there and see, it's just different things. And I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just misconception. You just think one thing and it's a human. We all do it.
Yeah. And just for those listening, we can definitely solve those world problems. But again, to do that, you have to go to the VETTED podcast and YouTube and Alien Addict. Tune in regularly, buy the merch. You're saving the world. Maybe it could be. It's not a 0% chance that you're not saving the world. So, there's that.
That's better than zero.
Yes. So Patrick, you're a lot bigger platform than we are. At the moment,
I don't know.
We're coming for you, brother. No.
Yeah, hey, bring it. Let's go, y'all.
No, but you've got a great platform, mate. Yeah. And what you're doing there, where you're doing the commentary, I love that. I know you've got something coming up with your theory on. What's it called again? The alien.
I don't know. I'm just calling it digital aliens because I don't know what else to call it.
I'm intrigued by that. I'm
Oh,
intrigued.
dude. I think it makes sense. When I lay this video down in my head, I think I hope it just makes sense to be. I can already tell I'm gonna get roasted by some people. I just know it's gonna happen. Yeah,
if you're getting roasted, it means it's interesting.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
that's exactly
I get roasted every video. It doesn't matter what. I could literally bring on a puppy and be like, "Isn't this the cutest puppy you've ever seen?" There would be somebody that comments like, "Fuck puppies." I'd be like, "God damn!"
Hey, don't tell the cat guy that.
Yeah.
But for our sexy audience, what is it you do?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well,
what do we do at Vetted?
We've reached that like end moment, and I'm just like,
what are you doing? Where can I find you?
Your nipples,
all that good stuff.
What are you doing? What are you gonna do? What are you doing?
Did I hear nipples?
Yes, absolutely. Your name is always nipples.
Yeah, man. Look, every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? I put out a daily video. I'm enjoying. We talk UFOs. I think what y'all have going here is phenomenal. Dude, I had a blast doing this. This was so much fun. I laughed my ass off. And we talked about shit, right? It's the same, like both. We can have fun and have like cool discussions. That to me is like, that's prime. That's like, you know what I mean? That's when it's like it's everything
nipples
together. Yeah, it's it's hard
and tiny hands. It's the best things in the world.
Hard nipples. Yeah, it's like yeah. I mean that's it's like umami. You guys ever heard that term?
Yeah.
No.
Umami. It's
I
like
went to public school, brother.
It's a so did I. It's a flavor. It's a flavor profile. So like sour, sweet, salty, right? Like so. Umami
I thought you said bukkake. That's a flavor profile.
Holy shit, Jesus! I got
no. Holy shit is on an entirely different. That's OnlyFans.
Wow.
We'll keep that there.
Yikes. Yeah. No, I am not saying that.
It gets dark fast here, man. It gets dark fast here.
No, umami is like perfect flavor. Like it's like when things come together perfectly.
Oh, gotcha.
And it synchronizes like a synergy of flavor. It's just like when you taste something that's just like perfectly balanced together. That's umami. Like that flavor, you know, butter on toast. It's just perfect on there. You know, that's anyway. That's what you guys have going on here, man. You guys have this great energy, and I love it, dude. You know, so just FYI to y'all.
Yeah, it's the nude pictures we get to the email, mostly to Ollie, that really set the mood and bring the inspiration every Friday.
Yeah, I got those too. That's why I came.
Ollie, stop sending them to the guests.
That's why I'm here. So I say keep sending them.
Oh, well, then, hey, we'll get you on the regular mailer.
I already scheduled my next visit. So let's.
Apart from your YouTube channel, where can people find you?
You know, we're on Twitter. If you just go to our website, vetted.show, SHOW, you can find it. You can join our Patreon. I'm doing our Patreon later here in just 1 hour. I meet once a week with our fans to just talk just like this on camera. It's not public or anything, right? Just private. We all just shoot the shit, essentially shoot the shit. We got a Discord, but again, just go to the website, vetted.show. You can find everything there.
Awesome. We've got a stacked weekend to come again. We have Mark Sargent on tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that.
He really is flat. That's the flat Earth guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Ollie's so excited.
Guy. I'm excited. I'm not a flat earther though.
Wow. Ask him if the people are flat too. I've always wanted to ask that guy because I have that flat people theory where I'm like, everything's flat, not just the Earth. Everything's flat, guys. We are not three-dimensional. That's the twist. We're all 2D. Everything's flat. I don't know.
We'll ask. I mean, that's not the weirdest thing I've asked somebody.
From what I've heard tonight, I know that. I trust me. I know.
We have a healthy respect for the flat Earth community because at the end of the day,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
NASA's fucking lying to us. Whatever's going up there, they're lying to us.
I don't think that is one of them, but honestly, let's be real. If it happened and it came out, we are on a flat Earth. That would be just the ultimate fucking twist. Like, holy
UFOs
shit.
coming from the Antarctic.
You know, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I always joke and say now, especially after like the whole like pandemic and stuff like that, I've just got no doubt left in me. So if it turned out the world
Fair
was
enough.
like, yeah, probably,
Yeah,
probably
totally.
is.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
Gwen
show me where,
Stefani
show me
is
where
disappointed.
where the sexy cat island is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
And
Well,
suddenly
good
we've
luck
got
with that.
UFO Shane.
And then UFO Shane.
And I can have a
Okay,
beer with him.
he's I've seen that guy's with Skyfire News, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
those guys. Good.
Yeah.
That should be
Skyfire's
cool.
great.
Are y'all going to talk about the whole UFO meltdown that's happening on UFO Twitter or something?
Maybe
We're gonna go with the cat people.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you are going to talk about that? It's the same thing. That's all.
Yeah. Ollie loves a bit of drama, so I don't think we're gonna be able to stop
A
him.
little bit.
Oh, we're not gonna
Ollie's
go-
like,
those little hands. Those little hands
yeah,
kept going.
oh yeah.
It is.
The
It's like
drama.
I had to talk him down the other day. He said because I was explaining it to him, and I was explaining it to him in like a negative way, as if said, "Look at this shit." And next thing is, "I've got a great idea. Let's invite them all on." And like, no, Ollie, no, let's not.
Captain each on the show.
He's like, yes, this is what we thank you for sharing this with me, Lee. Share more things like this with me.
Yes,
This would be
that's good. That's
great.
accurate. That's accurate.
Right? Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Shit,
Hey, well, good luck.
Family
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick, thanks
Yeah.
for coming on, man. This has been a riot. It's been a blast. We don't want to keep you too
No.
much.
No worries. Thank
And
you so much.
the Patreon thing sounds awesome. They can find you through your website. We also do something similar, but it's a pay by the minute thing. It's a different website altogether.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Dude, look at these guys.
and to everyone watching, we love you. Thank you. Share this. We have an audio only podcast. Check it out. Buy our merch. Send Ollie nudie pictures. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good night. God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite.
We really should start that pay by the minute after thing. Patrick, we always do a little funny after take. We really need to warn the guests about that. But seriously, how many people here message us? Would you pay by the minute to see Ollie do things in, like a will it fit type situation?
Well, my nipples.